Hello, Irene again. It is just in the last routine for today, so I know it's just feel really kind tired, and then also your brain is kind of stuck, and then also kind of foggy, but still I'm really proud of you to finish all your routine even though you feel so tired. Okay, so today's lesson is I learned some books for how we maintain love in healthy and a happy way. So yes, still my brain is really stuck, so I just try my best. So even though sometimes we have a really bad circumstances and body condition, but sometimes we need to work, right? So for that it's just kind of training how I can just manage my or just deal with my condition while doing something important, right? Which is just life, and sometimes something happen unexpectedly. That's why it's just it is a kind of good training as well. And then according to the book, the phrases is that if you love someone, take a responsibility for your thoughts and emotions. This means that when you are in a relationship, it is important to own your feelings and not blame your partners for that. Yes, of course, if I just feel kind of tired or just annoyed and angry, for some reason, I should just take a responsibility for my emotions, right? This is my emotions, right? So, but sometimes I made a mistake. We made a mistake, when we are young. Yeah, it was really mature, of course. So when you feel kind of down or just kind of really stressed, we just express those kind of emotions, and then we just silently ask them to heal those kind of emotions, right? To kind of intimate partner, something like that. So which is really mature, because this is my own thoughts, this is my own emotions, right? So emotions is something that I should manage or control myself, right? So for that, I should get rid of those kind of emotions through working out or just taking a rest, but try to push just a partner to just heal or just kind of recover. For me, it is really immature. So, but I don't really just do that anymore. And sometimes I could say it is kind of a vulnerable time, right? It's very sensitive and sometimes really emotional. So which means my emotions, right? No matter what. So I should just control and manage and then take a responsibility for those kind of just negative emotions in myself. That's why maybe I try to just kind of distant from other people, or just try to be myself and just take a rest and just try to make just my energy level kind of increase. That's why. And then of course just get rid of those kind of emotions and through working out as well, which is just the most effective one for us, right? And then also try to avoid just kind of communicating or interacting with other people as well. Even though it's just people just have a common sense that even though we feel really bad, we should just push through. We should just control our emotions and our feelings, but we are human, right? So if you just feel even just we are happy, we're just kind of optimal condition, but sometimes it's kind of hard for us to just control our emotions and our feeling as well, right? So sometimes it is really just sometimes a really good strategy to step back and just let it time go by. So which is just a really good strategy as well. So for us, so we don't do it anymore, right? So when you are young, especially in high school, I did that, right? So if I just feel low, I don't really just stay by myself, or I just don't want to be by myself as well. That's why I just see people and they express those kind of emotions, which I realized it is so immature. So we should avoid that. And then, of course, and other things, when it's just jumping to the conclusion, analyzing other person's emotions, it is just kind of for women. I don't know, just I don't want to generalize, for that, but I just want to say when I was young, like it's just my trait or just my kind of how to say, inborn character or something like that. It was like I always just thinking too much. Right, so it is like it is just endless kind of thoughts. Sometimes like I kind of imagine or just try to assume like other people's emotions by my perspective, right? So which is not true actually. So I just realize that it is just kind of useless and it's just unnecessary, just kind of habit as well. So I just try to change when I just have some question about just my partner, so boyfriend. Yeah, so I just don't try to assume anything about him. So the assumption is not true. It's not fact. It is just kind of my imagination and my thoughts, right? So, and then the problem is that if I just keep assumption is about those kind of behaviors and thoughts, like I just believe that it's true or it's a fact. So it is not true, it is not fact, right? So it is just useless and it is just a really kind of negative habit. So I don't want to do that anymore. So when we just have those kind of questions, I just ask the question clearly, not just always just ask the question. It's just kind of vaguely. So I don't think it's really kind of healthy manner. That's why I just ask that question directly and just clarity. So it is a really good kind of quality when it comes to happy and healthy relationship that I learned from the books and other clips as well. So I just always just try my best, of course. Like if I just have boyfriend, if I have those kind of situations, so maybe just my tendency was like I try to assume, but I always just talk ourselves. We just have inner communication with each other. So it's not true. Assumption is not a good idea. Just ask question. Yeah, clearly. Yeah. So Irene. It is. I think it's a really good strategy. So even like it is not intimate relationship, but like it is really good for kind of whole general relationships as well, right? So Irene, I'm so proud of you. I don't know actually like what I was saying, because like my brain was really foggy, so it was just kind of hard for me to speak, but I just try my best, which is enough, right? So I always just love you the way you are, no matter what, and then also proud of you, and then you have a great rest of Friday. Okay, see you tomorrow and love you.